Hey, sixth graders, happy Thursday. Today we are going to be looking at a new topic. We just covered producers, consumers, goods, and services, and now we're going to talk about imports and exports. If you go to your Google Classroom, you will see this as a Google assignment. Each one of you has your own copy, so you can type into these notes as we go. It will pop up in red. So as I go through this PowerPoint right here, I would really appreciate it if you followed along with your notes and then do the practice. Remember, for the practice, you just type in an X if it's importing or exporting, which we'll go through with the notes as well. And then go ahead and turn it in when you're done, so I know that you've accomplished it and you receive credit for that. So remember, it is easiest if you split your screen, so you minimize one side and then have your notes that you can type into on one side, and then you put my video that is right here for the YouTube on this side, so you can kind of see them going one by one, and then you can easily pause if you need to, if you need more time. So we are going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to put my screen, make it a little larger so it's easier for you guys to see. And also make sure that you remember to watch that crash course video. I put in the notes that you should watch that first. Or I put that in the announcement next to the Google assignment. So hopefully you have that background knowledge, and then we're just going to re-solidify or maybe explain it a little further so it's easier to understand. So imports versus exports. Imports are goods countries need that they buy from the other countries come into the country. So make sure that you put buy and in into your Google Notes. And a really easy way to remember that imports are things coming in is you can see the word imports. Im kind of sounds like in. So imports are things coming into the country. So things coming in, and then exports are extra goods countries sell to other countries, things that are exiting the country. So make sure in your notes you put sell and exit. And again, another really easy way to remember this is EX in exports, EX in exit. So things that are coming in and things that are exiting the country. So remember, importing and exporting go together. So you cannot have an import without it being considered an export for another country. So it's kind of like producers and consumers. You have one, you have the other. Someone is producing, someone is consuming. Something is being imported, something is being exported. It just depends on the way that you're looking at it or the perspective of what you're looking at. So China sells the USA clothing. If China is doing the selling of the clothing, is that considered an import or an export? So I'm going to give you a second to check off one of those boxes in your notes. While you do that, these tags, I asked you to look at your, for your do now, ask you to look at either a piece of clothing or something that's around you at your desk while you're in your Chromebook to see where it's made from. You'll see that a good portion of what you purchase is made in China. So that's just kind of an interesting thing to look at. So China sells the USA clothing. That is considered an export. So that is an export. Notes acting a little funny right there. Hold on. All right, so China sells the USA clothing. That is considered an export. USA is buying clothing from China, so it's coming into the USA. That would be considered an import. So it's coming in. If USA is doing the buying, it's coming in. So remember, we talked about this. Selling versus buying, those are good key words to mention. So if that is in a question, if it's buying, it's an import. If it's selling, it's an export. And last but not least, the US buys coffee from Chile. So a lot of coffee beans that you see from ground coffee, places like Starbucks. The US buys coffee from Chile. Those are usually located from Chile. So which country imports the coffee and which country exports? So I'm going to give you a second to type that into your notes real quick. So remember, if we're looking at something that the US is buying, then that is considered an import. It is coming in. So for right there, that would be the US. And then since Chile has the coffee exiting the country, it's exiting Chile to go to the United States, that is considered an export. So make sure that you are putting US and Chile. The import being for the US and the export being for Chile. All right, guys. We're going to go over this. We're going to have a little Google form assessment on Friday just to kind of check what's going in, what's going out. If you would like to write these things down on a piece of paper so you could use them, if I were you, I would copy down the following things right here on this page: imports, things that are being bought or being that they buy from other countries, things that are coming in; exports, extra goods countries sell to others; exit. So this right here, if you have this down, you can refer to this during the Google form and you will be 100% solid. All right, guys, I hope you have a happy Thursday and you will be hearing from me very soon.